I'm Lisa Norris, and this is Walk the Talk. Randy Cantrell joins me again today as we near the end of our mini-series in the leadership recipe. Randy, tell us about compassion, the final ingredient.
The final ingredient in our recipe for great leadership is compassion. We began with humility, then we added curiosity. After that, we put in knowledge, followed by understanding. Today, this last ingredient is sort of the high point in the recipe. Empathy is crucial. Empathy is the willingness to understand before you pass judgment. Without it, there can be no compassion. Just like without cocoa, there's no chocolate cake. Without compassion, our leadership recipe will be missing a key ingredient. Leadership is all about making a positive difference in the performance of everybody on our team. I have a fair number of people in my life who are comfortable telling me that they love me, and I'm comfortable telling them. And I don't mean just family. It's not a complicated thing, really. Two humans who share compassion toward one another because we understand each other, because we like each other, because we want what's best for each other. Compassion would be impossible if that weren't the case. Compassion is our ability to suffer together. When it comes to leadership, let's add the ability to suffer together and help the other person move forward, even if it's only slight movement forward. And there it is, leadership focusing on others, helping them do what they can't do for themselves. Do you remember Margaret, the excellent worker whose performance was slipping? So her manager sat down with her to find out what was going on, only to find out her mother had cancer. Margaret's manager did what he could to help her move forward. He developed a plan so Margaret could take additional time off to tend to her mother. He went into action for Margaret, working to help her facilitate whatever support he could. Can he deal with it for Margaret? No. There are many things he can't do for Margaret, but he did the things he could. He suffered with Margaret and helped her move forward at work so her struggle wouldn't negatively impact her and her team. It helped her with her work-life balance. Margaret left that meeting knowing she had support and concern from her boss. It was a load off. Additionally, she gave him permission to share the news with her teammates so they too could properly understand. Their support in the coming weeks proved invaluable. It gave them the opportunity to exercise compassion toward Margaret. Margaret's mother struggled through many months of treatments and sickness. Within a year, she died. Today, Margaret is thankful for the support she got at work. Says Margaret, "I can't imagine what it might have been like if Phil, her boss, hadn't called me into his office that day. I was almost completely shut down, and it was getting worse by the hour. Phil noticed immediately, but he waited 2 days. 2 days, no more. I've asked him why he approached me beginning the third day that he noticed I had changed. He said he wanted to make sure I wasn't just some passing something that might be none of his business, but he also gave allowances that it could be something that I needed time to process. I feel sorry for people who work for a boss that isn't that in touch with them. He's such a terrific leader. I'm thankful to be on his team." Sit down with your team and have a casual conversation about compassion. Ask them to share a time when somebody extended compassion to them and it made all the difference in the world to them. Sharing such stories can prompt us to increase our capacity for compassion because it helps us realize how powerful it is in helping people endure and overcome. And we all need it. Lisa, back to you.
Thanks, Randy. Now that we understand compassion, let's explore it a little more intimately. Once on the screen, pause the video to allow for self-reflection and discussion in your group. Has there been a time when a leader was compassionate toward your situation rather than placing judgment? Talk about that time with your group and how it impacted you. And then think about a time when you could have been more compassionate yourself. What was the initial impact to you and or the team, and how could that have been done better? Share with the group. Humility, curiosity, knowledge, understanding, and compassion. Make sure that you never run out of any of these ingredients. They will serve you well as you build yourself into the leader you most want to be and the leader your people need you to be. As you continue in your journey, you're going to learn that these ingredients can be tweaked by volume depending upon the circumstances. Sometimes Curiosity is going to need to be heavier or lighter, and knowledge may be strong or maybe it needs exploration. Regardless, the ingredients remain. If you want to learn more, visit our podcast at growgreat.com. And until next time, lead well, make an impact, and walk the talk.